What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Ever Adaptive Podcast. I'm Sarah Budson here with my beautiful co-host, Beckie Flowers, and we have a familiar face probably in the bodybuilding industry, Miss Marissa Andrews. She's a very dear friend of mine, and she very soon is going to be a two-time Olympian. So welcome, and thank you so much for coming on. We're so excited to have you.
Oh my God, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
We are so
Beckie,
excited.
you want to kick us off?
Yeah. Well, I know Sarah knows you and you guys are good friends, but I am not as familiar with, I don't know you personally. So I would love to know like life background, like who are you? Who is Marissa Andrews? Like your elevator spiel.
Elevator spiel.
My face is already hurting from smiling so much. We've been talking for like 2 minutes and my face is like already hurting. So my name is Marissa Andrews. My real name is Andrielle. My family is Greek American. My parents were born over in Greece. I grew up in Windsor, Ontario, and then moved to Michigan when I was like 8 years old. I played soccer my entire life. I studied both fine art and design and science in undergrad, and I'm currently in dental school. I started bodybuilding.
Honestly, badass.
Thanks. I like to say my life is a bunch of little side quests because I always like have so many different versions of myself throughout like time where I was like at one point I was like strictly an artist, gonna move to Germany and work on Game of Thrones. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to med school. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a dentist. And now it's like, okay, I'm a professional bodybuilder. And it's just like so many different little like side quests.
The saga continues.
Yes. My life is a video game. But then I started bodybuilding about oh my God, it's coming on 3 years. 3 years ago. I know.
Insane that it has been that little time and you have had so much success with it. Like,
it feels like so long.
I love watching I've loved watching ever since even before we met a couple years ago. And like, dude, you're awesome. Sorry, continue.
No, that's cool. That literally like it just feels so long though. Like 3 years in my head feels like such a long time. But yeah, so I did my first show 3 years ago, the Mel Chansey Holiday Classic, and placed absolutely dead last out of 16 girls. Your girl got 16th. So I got my ass handed to me. And then from there, I kind of had to take a step back and was like, all right, is this for me? Do I really want to do this? Like, is this bringing me happiness? And it was that realization that this sport is like, that cliche. It's like, it's you versus you. It's like, you really can't blame anybody else. Like, could I have blamed my coach? Yeah. Could I have blamed the judges? Yeah. But like, would those be accurate representations of where I should have placed? No, it was my responsibility. So I had to take a step back and be like, okay, the only thing that like me being on stage is me. It is a result of my hard work. It is the physical manifestation of my dedication, my perseverance, all of those different things. So if I wanted to be defined as something, I need to show up as something, and I can't put the blame on anybody else. So 4 months after I got absolutely demolished at a regional show, I went on to a show here in Michigan, won the overall. And then a couple weeks later, earned my pro card at Junior USA's with the overall there. Walked into the Chicago Pro and once again got absolutely dead last at my pro debut. Got my ass handed to me. My current teammate, Cassandra Gillis, took the whole show. She looked phenomenal. And it was really inspiring to see that dynamic between her and her coach. So I decided to join their team. And then from there, after I got my ass handed to me in Chicago, the next show I did was St. Louis Pro, where I qualified for the Olympia. So I really, this is longer than an elevator spiel, but the whole, I feel like
we got
the whole theme of my like bodybuilding journey, I guess, has been this like big failure. And then just not letting it define who I was and using it as fuel to push and be better and know that I had better. So I could have just given up. I could have been like, this isn't for me. or I could have taken that step back and be like, okay, what was I doing where I didn't bring my best to the stage? And every single show that I have brought my best to the stage, even if I haven't won, even if I've gotten, a different placing at the Olympia, I didn't win. I got 7th, which is still insane. But like, it was the happiest day of my whole life because I had been perfect on my diet. I had been perfect on my cardio, perfect on my training. And I knew that no matter what I looked, I kept telling people that I could have got dead last and I would have cried just as hard running off stage. I was just so content and proud of who I had become through that journey that the placing didn't really matter. So yeah.
That's
amazing.
amazing. So what did you do? Oh, go ahead.
Really, it's just a quick thing before you ask a question. That's just like such a good like piece of advice for literally anyone in bodybuilding is exactly what you said, control all of your variables, no stones unturned, and that's something that in my previous prep, and that's something that even just in my mindset with everything carrying forward, I've always been like, up to this point, is there anything I could have done better? No, then I'm good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you leave it all on the table? And if you can, cool.
Right.
And I think the hardest part is being honest with yourself.
Yes.
Like looking back and be like, did I do everything I could have? And like people's immediate reaction is to be defensive. And they're like, no, I did. Absolutely, I did. And then you're like, okay, but how many times did you vary off diet? And they're like, well, it was just a couple bites. Okay, so you weren't perfect on your diet.
Right.
Okay, how many times did you miss cardio? I did all my cardio, well, except for a couple days a week, I didn't do it. Okay, so you weren't perfect. Like, and it's just like that. Yeah, it's like that like small like idea onto like everything in life. Did you choose sleeping in instead of waking up to study for your exam? Did you go to bed early instead of working on the project for work? Like there was just small decisions that add up to such a bigger thing that when in the moment you think that they don't mean that much, but then once you compound them over how many weeks, months, years, they make a huge difference.
Exactly. And having that extreme ownership.
Yep.
That's
a great phrase, extreme ownership.
Yeah.
I'll write that in my notes.
Take it. But no, my question was, what did you do between that show that you got 16th at regionals to then come back win an overall 4 months later? Like what changed for you there? Because were you with the same coach? It sounds like you were.
No. So I wasn't really working with a coach for my first show. I kind of was just trying to see what I could do, didn't really take it seriously. And then I did hire a coach between those 2 shows, but mostly what I did was I got pissed off. And I got pissed off at my mistakes, and I got pissed off at my lack of effort. And I had to admit to myself, this is one of my biggest, still to this day, one of my biggest issues is admitting that I want something, because it puts me at a position to be vulnerable and lose if I don't get it. So that's why I define every show as a show, and I allow myself to win based on the journey instead of self-sabotaging because I think that the win is the placing. So I decided that I wanted to admit to myself and the people around me that I wanted to do good at bodybuilding. So it was like that vulnerability where it's like, okay, I could fail. I really could. I could go out, give it my all, and get dead last again. It was a possibility. I'm sure that there's people out there that are perfect on everything and still don't place how they want to place. But it was that like vulnerability. I got pissed off that I allowed myself to be defined as something that I didn't want to be. So my coach really reined in my diet. I went to Mexico for a month and trained with him in person. Now, this specific coach I would not recommend to anybody. I don't think that he was the most knowledgeable, but he was very, very strict. So it taught me a lot of discipline. And it taught me how a professional athlete in this sport specifically should act. So there was no room for errors with him. So that really taught me that strictness, that discipline. And I think that's something that I've carried with me throughout my whole journey now.
I love that. And I love that it was almost like you had to speak it. Like you had to admit to yourself and then tell others to really push you on that journey.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So good. So now your sister also competes.
Yes. She's actually the reason that I ended up getting on stage. She basically dragged me by the hair to a competition, was like, so you're doing this? You have no choice. And she's like, your boyfriend competes, I compete. What are you gonna do? Just not compete? And I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be the odd one out. So like I'll get on stage.
I forgot
Um,
that.
I know. She was actually the person who took me to the gym for the first time, where I think there's like a difference between training and working out. And like she took me to the gym to train for the first time. And um yeah, so she was there at the first day that I trained. She was there. I lived with her up until my national show. I went down to Florida because I wasn't in school yet, so I went down, lived with her in Florida. We prepped together. She was prepping for the Chicago, or not Chicago Pro. What show is it? Pittsburgh Pro, Pittsburgh
Okay.
Pro, something like that. But we had our schedules were exactly aligned. So I got on the train to go to Junior USA's, and she got on the plane to fly to her show. So like it was the perfect amount of time. So we prepped together, went to our shows. And then she was there at the Olympia backstage, on stage. Yeah, it's been crazy.
Awesome.
What's it go into like how awesome is it to compete alongside your sister as a professional athlete? Like that's fucking insane.
It is fucking insane. That's a great way to summarize it. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, just like because you come out alphabetically. So like in line, like me and her, like we're still siblings. So like she'll be doing kickbacks and just like lightly kick me, and I'm like I'll lightly kick her back, and then like, but at the same time we'll like turn around and like hit the side glue, and then like try to out angle each other. But like, and then like on stage, like before we go on stage, like we literally held hands as we were like waiting in line. I think there's a picture of it somewhere. Oh, there's a picture from Chicago, or not Chicago, Pittsburgh. Why do I keep doing that? Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Pro from this last year. We passed each other going on stage, and as she was walking up the stairs and as I was walking down, we just held hands for a second, and then she went and did her routine.
I love it.
And it was just, I'm the little sister, so everything I do is like she is like my second mother. And so having that person, like just imagine having your mom next to you on stage holding your hand, being like, you got this, baby girl. Like you can do, oh, I'm gonna cry.
That
She's
gives
like,
me like
so
chills. I have chills right
me
now.
too. So at the Olympia, something that, is a newer thing this year is that I really, really want to go back to my roots and be really the authentic Marissa. So last year at the Olympia, I had all of this imposter syndrome because I didn't think that I belonged there. I didn't think that I was going to do well. I didn't think that I was going to place. I didn't think I was going to get top 10. Like literally, I thought I was going to get dead last. So I went out and I did my routine, and I came off stage and I started having a panic attack. I was in the corner, dry heaving, like hyperventilating, couldn't breathe, and I was shaking. I was so scared. I was like, I messed it all up. I ruined my routine. My physique looks like shit. I was just freaking out. And so she like came right off stage right after me, because alphabetical, and came over and like she grabbed me. She's like, what's going on? And I was like, I just don't want last. I was sobbing. I was like, I don't want last. I just don't want to fail. Like I'm going to embarrass myself. I can't go back out there. I can't go back out there. And she literally like grabbed me by the shoulders and she's like, listen, she goes, you might not know who you are, but I do. So she's like, either you're going to get out of this whole stadium, you're going to go home, and you're not going to be the woman that I know you are, or you're going to stand up, hold your chin up high, and you're going to go out there and show the world just who the fuck Marissa Andrews is, who I know her to be. So she's literally like grabbed me and was like, wipe your tears, go put some lip gloss on, and be the woman I know you are. And like, I
That's
just like,
such a big sister.
I literally would have panicked and ran off stage. Like it was, I know, she literally second mother, big sister, like,
Amazing.
and then she like walked with me upstate, like onto the stairs as we were going for call outs, grabbed my hand, was like, go kill him, knock him dead. And like, it was, yeah. So I could not have done anything that I did last year at the Olympia without her.
Aw,
Yeah,
love
I couldn't have
that.
done anything in this sport. She has straight up paved the way for everything in my life. Like nobody in my family bodybuilds. She had the courage to do it first. I followed. My parents, my mom is a teacher, my dad is an engineer. She became a doctor. she paved the way. So now I'm in dental school. So with everything that I have done, like I'm very, very proud of all the accomplishments. Like I've done them, I've achieved them, but it's a lot less scary when you see somebody who's so similar from the same background, same parents, same house, doing it first. So everything that I have done in this life is really like she was the one who paved the way. And she just let me follow. And it's the biggest blessing I've ever had.
Oh, I
That's
love that. I
amazing.
love that you guys have that support for each other, and like it's not like a competitiveness or anything, because like you guys are literally competing against each other too, but like it's just like, listen, you got my back, I got yours. Like I love that, just like sisterhood and like support. That's amazing.
Oh my God, if I go to my text, me and her send each other our posing videos back and forth, and we like tweak each other. Like we just want each other to do like the best that we can. Like she's like, do you like this one or this one? And we'll go back and critique each other's poses, and like, yeah, it's great. I love it.
I love
You
that
guys
so
are
much.
both such powerhouses. I love it so much.
So now go into, you had mentioned really quickly that you want to go back to your roots for
Yes.
this Olympia. So what does that mean? What are you talking about?
Okay, well, to play on that pun, I got my roots dyed back brown. So
That's what I was thinking.
So yeah, it was just I don't know. I had this idea in my head that everybody on social media just seems so polished and pristine and filtered and like perfect all the time. And it was fucking exhausting because I'm not perfect. I'm like ADD, crackhead energy. Like I'm not like a pristine, polished, like my house is not Instagram worthy. I'm not like, I can't. And I tried for so long to try to like put up this facade of like everything's perfect and I'm just this professional athlete and like just trying to be like porcelain. And I was like, I can't do that. So it was like, I think that's what contributed a lot to my imposter syndrome. Because I remember, oh my, I just remember this. I remember telling my boyfriend Colin that I don't think I have an amazing physique. I think I can trick people into.
You're back.
That's my bad. My internet disconnected. And I was like,
no.
you literally, Sarah, you froze with like your jaw dropped. And I was like, are you frozen or are you just very shocked at what I'm saying? Okay, what part was
cut
I
off.
saying?
You said you think that you were talking to Colin and saying like, I think I can trick people into thinking that like your physique is what it is, which you're insane. But
yes.
Continue.
And like he was like, that's so sad because you can't see how amazing you are. And I realized in that moment that I was like, I keep pretending to put on this facade and become Marissa Andrews. Like my real name is Andreu, but it's like, and it was like, I had that disconnect where it was like, I felt like such an imposter because I thought I was playing this character. And like, I realized that like people, I don't care if people don't like the authentic Marissa. Like, what am I doing this for? Like, this is not a career. This is not something that's supposed to be fake. There's too much fakeness in this world. And frankly, I was getting burnt out and exhausted. And if I didn't transition back to just being me and stop trying so hard, then I don't think I would be on stage. Like, I don't think I could have kept this going. So everything I try to do is very transparent. Like there's still obviously boundaries, things that I'm not willing to share with people, but that's not but I don't let it take away from the authenticity. I still try to show people that I have bad days. Like what I'm doing, I'm in dental school and I'm bodybuilding. It's not fucking easy. Like and I need to stop. And that's what the thing is. It's like I need to stop trying to pretend this is easy because I had girls reaching out to me and be like, how are you doing this so effortlessly? Like, how are you doing it? And I feel like a failure. And I was like, holy shit, like I'm making these people feel like a failure because I'm not being real. Like I'm trying to like put on this little like porcelain and pristine act. And like in reality, I'm like, I cry like every day. Like I started listening to Screamo, so I can have like scream alongs on my drive home from school now. Like it's just like you know what I mean? Like I realized that not only was it like hurting me and making me feel less about like who I was because I was getting all of this love on Marissa Andrews, not on Marissa Andreo. And like it just made me like stopped liking Marissa Andrews so much because everyone was obsessed with Marissa Andrews. And then my social battery kept burning out because I kept having to like play this character. And then it was hurting people too. And it was hurting myself. And I was like, all right, I'm done. Like if this is who I am, if you like it, that's cool. If not, I like it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna
And I
kind
love
of
that.
keep
And that's
running
so,
that.
it's so true because literally everything that like you are on social media is like, that's you. Like crackhead Marissa running through the gym. Like we love her.
Orange cat energy only, I swear.
Yeah.
I kept just wanting to be a black cat, but no, I'm an orange cat. I tried. I can't do it.
I love
And
that.
I
I'm
want
an orange
to touch on that because after you won your last pro show, you got an orange cat, right?
Yes, I named him Dallas. So I got approved in line for finals for a little orange cat. His name was Tibetan, something like that, but I decided to name him Dallas. That was my decision. Like that was my like little gift to myself. As I was walking on stage for finals, I got the email that I had been approved. And I was like, okay, if I win this show, then I'm getting this cat and I'm naming him Dallas to remember this Texas Pro win for like forever. So yeah, he's literally the crime rate in my house is astronomical. Like he is a menace, absolute menace, but the cutest little thing, little Sour Patch Kid.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
I was watching your stories this morning, your check-ins, and you're like, can you guys like do this another time?
Did you see the audacity? They stared right, like they literally looked me in the eyes and they're like, no. And they just went back to fighting. And I was like, okay.
Oh gosh, just like children.
I'm like, I have no authority here. I like to pretend I do, but none.
No, that's motherhood.
Yeah. And so you've mentioned Colin a couple of times now. Go into professional bodybuilding with a partner and how, and because he's also a pro, and just how that has, how you guys manage a relationship and how that's helped you and just like support system within your relationship. Go into that.
So it's hard. I'm going to start there because things are amazing now, but they weren't always that easy. Um, so I don't want to do the whole like porcelain thing, but it's gotten to the place where I've learned myself so well and he's learned himself so well that we're able to be independent but together. So that codependence was really broken and we were able to like do what we need to do. Wake up, do my cardio, come back, and then cuddle in bed instead of the needing to stay there and cuddle all morning. But having somebody that understands the life, even though like right now, like he's in a bulk. He's a big ass boy. He is bulking, eating massive man, like and trying to get bigger. So like meanwhile, I'm weighing my asparagus and this boy is like ordering pizzas so he can like try to hit his macros. And I'm like, this is disrespectful and I don't like it. But like so it's like if somebody like I have friends and I'm sure we all do in this sport where if I was like, oh, can I have a piece of that pizza? They'd be like, oh my God, yeah, here, take it. But like he knows my goals and he knows how bad I would feel tomorrow if I cheated on my diet today. And he literally would be like, absolutely not. Like, do you want to win your show? He's like, how bad do you want this pizza? Are you going to get last at Olympia this year? Like, that's something he says to me all the time. I was like, oh my God, I would literally give up anything to have a slice of pizza. He's like, okay, so you'd lose Olympia? And I'd be like, no, not that. He's like, they don't eat the pizza. Like, what do you expect from me? Like, so, do you have any like specific questions about like prepping with a partner or like
So
anything like that? Because that could go on forever.
for me, I have questions like, because there's so many of us that have relationships where the partner is not into fitness. So do you have any experience with that in the past? I don't know how long you guys have been together. How long? Well, I guess we should start there. How long have you guys been together?
Well, almost 4 years in December.
Okay.
So yeah.
Your whole bodybuilding journey.
I was dating. Yeah, I mean, I started trying to work out with my ex, but he was not really into fitness and he sucked and he tried. So we went to the gym and I've always been strong. Like that's like my favorite thing about me is that I've always been strong. I wanted to do powerlifting before wellness became a category, before I got dragged to stage. And I was squatting and this boy, not man, this boy came over to my weight rack and started taking the weights off. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, it's embarrassing that you lift more than your boyfriend. Don't you want a boyfriend that lifts more than you? And my little broken ass in that moment, 6 years ago, whenever this was like, yeah, I do want a boyfriend that lifts more than me. I need to limit myself so that my boyfriend can lift more than me. And now it's like, now in hindsight, I'm like, bitch, just get a boyfriend that lifts more than you. If you want a boyfriend that lifts more than you, why would you dim your light? Because this little insecure boy is over here telling you that he doesn't like that your arms are getting really muscular. They're more muscular than his. And like, you know what I mean? Like, so I've been in that situation. And I'm sure you're not asking about like that level of extreme, but like it hurts your heart when the person that you love the most is like actively working against something that makes you feel good and makes you feel like you and makes you feel whole. So I think the biggest thing that you need to communicate is like it may seem superficial to people that aren't in this world. Like they're just like, oh, you just want to look good, you just want to get lean. Like, no, it is about being so strong here and absolutely trying to hit that squat, trying to hit that PR and falling on your damn ass. But you have to fall on your ass today to hit the squat tomorrow. Like you can't hit a PR without trying it first and failing. No, that's not how it works. You can't just walk into the gym and squat 600 pounds. You're going to work your way up and you're going to fall on your ass and you're going to get back up and you're going to try again next week. And once you learn that perseverance, that discipline that you need to fail in order to succeed, it's not like, oh, you could fail and then succeed. You have to fail. You have to give it everything you have and know you're going to fall on your ass. So next week you can do this thing. And it's like people don't understand that it's not that vanity. It's about that journey and about taking those principles and that perseverance and that bullheadedness and pulling it into everything in your life and becoming a stronger person on the inside.
I love that. That is so good.
Go off, man.
Right?
That was so good. That was so good. And just surrounding yourself with the people that see that in you and lift you up in that way, right? And they're there when you have your failures and they're there to remind you who the fuck you are, like Sunny, right? Like that's awesome. And that goes into so many of me and Becky's conversations of just like, who's in your circle, who's in your support system? Do they truly want the best for you in your lows and your highs? Are they only there in one season? How does all of that look, as a whole? And are they only celebrating your wins and then go on?
Yes. No, I'm just, yes. You're speaking to my soul. Yes.
But I mean, I love that. And I guess, and speaking from personal experience here, having, a partner in the past who was not into fitness and they tried, supporting the lifestyle and everything like that in the most capacity that they had an understanding of. But I really, truly don't think you know it until you're in it, until you're in the fucking trenches and you see every little bit of it and experience all of it to be able to truly support someone who is also in the same boat.
I agree. Yeah.
Like if I talk to people that aren't in bodybuilding, like friends and things, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Like I'm starving. I'm in pain. They'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Like they'd be trying to figure out what's wrong. Colin, my coach, everyone's like, good. Yeah. Everyone's like exactly where you should be. Exactly. And I was like, so you know what I mean? It's like that coddling or that, all right. And what?
Yeah.
Like, you can feel your body losing weight now. Great. That's exactly where you should be. You want to be full? That's embarrassing. Don't be embarrassing. Yes.
No, I love that. And that's so awesome that, especially as both of you being in the pro level, being able to support each other throughout those seasons where you're literally 4 or 5 weeks out and he's in peak off season, and you don't have to be both in a prep to understand where you're at.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever prepped together?
No, we've never prepped together. He is planning on making his pro debut next year. So really depending on school, it might be our first prep. And really so there's gonna be a Detroit Pro show. Fuad from Hustle Subs he's actually making a Detroit Pro show. And as of right now, the only category is men's bodybuilding. But he did make us a promise that if he can get enough sponsors, then he'll bring in wellness and classic physique. Because me and Colin are both from Detroit. So if they do offer wellness, I made him a promise that I would be there. And so would Colin. So if that does pan out, then we'll both be competing next year, early next year, like April together. So we've
we'll
always
talk
been
in
flip-flop.
April and see.
Yes, we've
how
always
it
been
goes.
flip-flop though. Like I've always been super, super lean when he's like peak bulk, and then when he was going through his pro card, I was in my peak bulk, and then like as soon as it was like the day after he won his card, we had 1 week where we went to Mexico together, and then the day I got back, I started my Olympia cut. So like it's always been like one of us is dying and the other is like fucking shoveling food.
I wonder if
I'm
that
sure-
helps though,
I'm
because
sure it's all a learning curve too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you have to learn, but then also like he's able to pull you through this prep right now when you're what are we, 4 weeks out right now? 5 weeks?
5 as of today.
5. Okay, 5 weeks out from the Olympia. He's able to pull
30.
you through because he has the energy, and vice versa. Like you're able to pull him through. And I'm just, I feel like it almost is better that way. And I'm excited to hear how prep goes for the both of you, hopefully next April.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Even if I don't compete at the same time with him, I'm very excited to like be that stage mom for him and like give him back everything that he has. I'm trying to find this text message he sent me. I felt so bad. I felt like I was the worst girlfriend. You know how you like get to this point in prep and you just kind of like shut off. And it's like I was sleeping all day and like wasn't really existing. And I texted him, I was like, I'm so sorry. I've been such a bad girlfriend. I feel like I've been MIA. I've been prepping for 3 years straight. And he literally was like, Marissa, I will be here for the rest of our life. This moment in time is just a blank. Do whatever you need to do. I'm here if you need me. I'm here if you need space. Whatever you need, that's what I'm here for. Don't worry, we have a lifetime together. Do what you need to do. Like that's like the
Damn.
fucking cutest thing.
What
You know what I
the
mean? It's like
Fuck?
he literally is like, do whatever you need to do, and I will be here. He's like, do you want me to like talk to you? I'm here. Do you want me to just like pretend that you're not a human for the next 35 days? I'm here. Like it was just so that's the type of support. It's like
man.
whatever your partner needs, it's like matching that energy because everyone's different. People like
Yeah.
to like have like that, there's that what is misery loves company. People like to be miserable together. Personally, I like to sit in a room and read a book with my cats and do a coloring book. Like I like to pretend that I'm not like I don't exist for these last 5 weeks. So like yeah, I don't know.
I love that.
That was just a mini brag. He's so cute.
I relate to that so much. I would like, just don't talk to me. Just pretend I'm not here.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Now, so last week, Marissa, you and I had a quick little conversation, and even when we trained together a couple of weeks ago, right? I want to talk about how you were kind of in your head then, completely second guessing yourself, but like you were also we had this conversation when we were training, and you're like, everything is like good right now. And what did your coach say to you?
Wait, remind me.
What, like, because you were like, he's like, why, we should be, here. Like, how do I get you pissed off? Essentially, right? Like, because that's kind of what triggers your strides forward. Where
Yes. It's like I felt okay. So coming out of Texas, going into Texas, I was very, very upset. I made myself have like a little personal vendetta against the stage. And I had prepped, usually I prep in like 16 to 20 weeks. I got on the Tampa stage in 6 weeks. So I started at 170 pounds and I was 140, or sorry. Yeah, 104. Oh my God, 140 on the Tampa stage. So I dropped 30 pounds in 6 weeks because I was just that pissed off and driven that everything I did, I lived, breathed bodybuilding. Like I would study. This is like an adjustable desk that Colin got for me. There, I have a treadmill under here, and I will walk while I study. I will wake up, pose, abs, like everything I did. I didn't use creamer in my coffee. I ate just as much veggies as I needed to. I didn't use any condiments. I only ate like normal, like vitamins, nothing gummy. Like everything that like was the small little things that could make you like not lose weight as sufficiently. I did it. Everything was flawless because I was pissed and I was like, people think I can't do this. People think I'm not going to be able to compete this year. I'm going to do it. So I had that like that battle in my head that I was like, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. Like they don't think I can prep in 6 weeks. They think I'm missing this Olympia. Let's do it. And then I did it and I qualified. And then everyone was being really nice to me. And everyone's like, oh, you're going to do really great at Olympia. You looked really good at Texas. This is the best you've ever looked. And then I was like, okay, but now I'm not fighting against anything. So I just got super complacent and I was like, yeah, it's good. I can do my cardio. I cannot do my cardio. And then, yeah, my coach has a way to piss me off on all accounts, but I love him to death. He's just like, he literally is like my little brother. He likes to think he's like a dad figure, but he's definitely like a little brother. He's just fucking annoying and always there. But so I like told him, I was like, hey, like, he's like, you're not on track. You're like way behind. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm exactly where I was last year for Olympia. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that you wanted to not improve this year. I didn't know you wanted 7th. And I was like, okay, we'll do better. Noted. So, yeah. And then I was getting really like up until Monday, my weight had been stalling. I just was I was like in a little bit of a depression hole. I was like very, woe is me. I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I have this habit of doing a show, doing incredible, and then the next show I do worse. Like my body doesn't like being lean and I get tired and burnt out. And so I'd come off Texas and I saw that pattern happening again. So I did St. Louis, I got first. And then my emotions, my stress, my fatigue got the best of me. I did Pittsburgh and I got 6th. I did the Olympia and got 7th. And then I did get 5th at the Arnold, but my package wasn't as good. And I saw that pattern reemerging where I had won this battle where I can prep, get to a stage and absolutely kill it. But this new battle, I realized like on Monday, like emerged that I have the stamina to go for a show, but I've never had the stamina to go for 2. And I was like, so this is this new challenge. And I thought that I was complacent. I was bored. I did it. I can prep. And I was like, but wait. Like I've never done 2 shows and killed 2 shows in a row. I'm like, this is a new challenge. This is a new battle. And do you want to be known as the girl who just like can win by a fluke and then fades away? So I had to once again step back and was like, all right, who are you? Are you the girl who placed 7th on a fluke and is going to go to the Olympia, get dead last this year? Was it a mistake? All those little voices in my head that were talking to me on stage last year, that was like, I had these things running through my head where I was like, I got called into first call out and I didn't move for like 10 seconds when Sandy called my name because I didn't believe that she actually meant to call me. I was waiting for her to be like, oh, number 1, number what, like, like the first competitor, but I was number 1. And she's like, it was like Marissa. And I was like, oh, yes, hello. Yes, Marissa. And then like I was waiting. And then the whole time I was in call outs, my brain was like, don't let them move you out of top 10. They made a mistake. Just pretend, like trick them into thinking you're supposed to be here. I didn't need to trick them. And it was like that little voice that was like, okay, are you going to go back to the Olympia and let those little voices win that you shouldn't be there? You shouldn't have been in the top 10. Are you going to allow yourself to let that mean little voice in your head win or define who you want to be and then become that? It's like that manifesting, like talk about who you want to be and then become that person. So I was stalling at like 148, 149. I woke up 144 this morning, which was my weight that I go into peak week before I drop water. So it was really it's that mindset it like over everything in this sport. Like once you believe something with your soul, like you can become that. I always say like see, like the phrase you have to see it to believe it is the biggest bullshit on this planet. Like you have to be crazy enough to believe something you've never seen, never done, never like experienced, witnessed in your life, and then it can become a reality. So that's what happened on Monday. I got pissed off at myself again, and now we're doing much better. And like, I'm happy when I'm pissed off. I like don't want it to be like I'm an angry little elf. Like I love the world, but like I'm angry at myself. Like that little like devil horn voice in my head. I'm like, you bitch, you ugly ass hoe. You like I got you.
No,
No,
that's
and
so
I love the
relatable.
transparency. I love the transparency about it too, with just like how like you are literally kind of your own self motivator here with you. It's a self-awareness, right? You notice these patterns and you're like, all right, gotta break that. All right, gotta break that. How do I get myself out of this? And like that is your driving factor. It's not outside, other people hyping you up or anything like that. If anything, that makes you worse.
I almost posted an Instagram picture and I was like, can you guys please just stop being nice to me for the next 5 weeks? Like nobody comment. I will block you if you comment anything nice on these pictures. Only
Just
me.
talk
Only
shit.
talk shit. Only talk shit for 5 weeks. Then you can tell
I'm
me you love me. Like fuck.
I'm gonna unsend my text to you this morning. I was like, dude, you look amazing for your check-ins. You're like,
No,
"Thanks."
If you could just
you look
text me
like
every morning
shit.
and be like, you're a fat piece of shit, like that would
I
just
will
be
not do
so
that, but
fine. I'm gonna text myself that then. I thought you were a friend. I thought you were a friend and you faked this. It's okay. My
no,
coach does
but
that.
no, but I like that it roots with a self-awareness and you're like, all right, what is the action that I need to do to correct this?
Mhm.
And taking that extreme ownership of here's where I'm at, here's where I need to be. Now this is what I'm going to do to get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be easy. Like
Oh,
that's oh my God, I fought so many demons in my life, girl. Like this, like the idea that I can stay on diet and do some cardio, that shit doesn't scare me. Like the things that I've fought in my mental in my life, like doesn't phase me. You know what I mean? Like there's hard things that you have to work through and like facing those like being real with yourself, like going back to what I said at the very beginning of like my bodybuilding journey, being honest, like was I doing the cardio? Yeah, but was my soul in it? Was I driving with every step? Was I visualizing with every step these last few weeks? No. Was I visualizing every step this week? Absolutely. Like, yeah.
and that's what makes it click is that like
Yeah.
intentionality. And that's awesome. Now how long is it until you are done with school?
Uh 2.5 years.
Okay.
2.5 years.
When
Yeah.
did you start? How long have you been in school?
A year and a half now.
Okay.
Oh my, yeah, yeah.
And your schedule's fucking bonkers.
It's
I
Like
know
I
really
we were
rude.
going over it before we started recording. She's like, I have to take this sweater off. I'm sweating.
Yes. It is. So, at this moment, we have 35 days, 1 hour, and 36 minutes until I step on the Olympia stage, and that's not working days. I have, including today's exam, 22 exams, 16 quizzes, and 3 competencies. And I'm sure that's like what, like 26 working days, something stupid like that. 22 exams,
Before
16
Olympia?
quizzes. Yes, including on the
Oh.
day of the Olympia, I have a fucking exam.
Guys, okay, hang on. If you're going to tell me that you can't do something, this girl is going to be taking a freaking exam on the day that she is stepping on stage for the Olympia.
And I don't think it's
Last
the
year.
first time. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that's the first time either. I'm
So
pretty
she
They
did it
sure you
last
did
happened
year
an
and got
exam
7.
between like
at
prejudging
Arnold.
and finals, right?
At Arnold, I literally drove to registration in my scrubs because I didn't have time to change. And then I had an exam the morning of, and then Olympia, yup, between prejudging and finals, and this year again. But it's great. It's fun. It's so fun. The cortisol spike is just really necessary.
Yeah.
Cortisol is great for you on show days. So like it's fine.
But still, like, don't tell me that you can't do it. But continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's good. It was good. I'm just gonna mute myself and scream for a couple seconds if you don't mind. Just
No, you're fine. I'll just continue. So she's actually flying out to Texas tonight also. She is going to be, well, I guess this is going to be releasing after the fact, but she's going to be doing a posing seminar down there. You just have a very packed schedule. So what do you do to keep track of everything? Like, how do you stay organized in your brain?
I have the most I do not stay organized in my brain. I stay organized on paper. Like everything, I have 3 different calendars. I have a paper calendar, I have a phone calendar, and then I have a weekly itinerary that I type on a Google Doc. Like I don't allow myself to think that I'm cocky enough to remember jack shit. Like there is a checklist. I literally have a list to pack for Texas today, and I'm like, there is everything down to socks, underwear, like my pass or not my passport, my ID, my headphones, my headphone chart, like everything that I could possibly need is written out. Every single second, every like meal is written out. I always go to bed with my meals for the next day completely packed, prepared. Don't leave anything up to chance, and like everything has like safety nets because like there is just so many moving pieces that it's not a matter of fact of getting them done. It's about knowing that I need to get them done. If I've ever not done well on an exam or a quiz, it's because I forgot to write it down and I didn't know I had it. But if I have that plan 2, 3, 4 weeks ahead of time, like I have my Olympia itinerary down to the minute, including meals, including check-ins, like dinner reservations, where I'm training, what I'm training, where like everything is like to the minute. And I do not let myself go off schedule. Like I have gotten very, very good at saying no to things because I need to with everything that I'm trying to do. And it breaks my heart sometimes. Like I would love to go like grab a coffee or grab a drink with a friend, but like I need to be doing this at this time. And like if I want to compete with the girls who do this for a living, like there's these girls on the Olympia stage that I'm competing against. This is what they do. This is their life. And I'm like, I'm trying to do it as a hobby and compete against the girls that are living, breathing bodybuilding. And it's like, if I want to do that, I have to say no to things. Um, but I've gotten very, very good at being like, every no is because I have a deeper yes. And every no to a drink today is a yes to being better in this area. Every no to going out and party is a yes to getting my sleep in. Somebody told me the other day that setting boundaries or like allowing yourself to like disrespect your boundaries is stealing happiness from tomorrow because it's like cheating on your diet is like you're taking that like happiness from tomorrow because you know if you ate perfectly on your diet, you're gonna wake up leaner, look in the mirror, and be like, God, I'm a fucking badass. I am literally God's gift to this earth. No one can tell me shit. And it's like, but if you had that piece of cake, it's a little bit of happiness now and a lot of sadness tomorrow. If I went out for that drink now, I'd be happy right now, devastated tomorrow. So it's stealing happiness from the next day instead of giving yourself happiness for the next day by preparing your food, going to bed early, doing what you need to do.
Love that so much. I love that mindset. And I think that's so key for people to like consider. And I see Beckie writing it down right now.
Yeah, I'm making notes.
Yeah.
But it's such a good thing. It's like that delayed gratification, right? How mentally tough are you to say no in the now for knowing that it's going to pay off in the future in some way? Because it always will. Just like that, that, like you said, that compounding effect of these little disciplines that add up into so much more if you just fucking wait it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So now you had just said, I just wrote it down because it's so good. Every no is because of a deeper yes. What is the future? Like, where are you going in the future? My brain is not working with this question, but like, so that deeper yes, like you have a deeper yes.
What is my deeper yes?
Yeah. Thank you.
I think so. My deeper yes is it's kind of cheesy. And I listened to a podcast that made fun of people who answer like this, but it's very much it's
Fuck 'em.
peace. Right? Fuck them. It's very much peace and happiness and kind of that idea where I can just be alone in a room with my thoughts and think for like 2, 3 hours, not saying a word and be okay. And like, I know that that sounds very dramatic, but when you have anxiety and depression, sometimes you can think yourself into a spiral. And I really just want to be able to get to a place where I am like loving yourself is very extreme. People say, oh, you need to love yourself, love yourself. But if you go from a place of absolutely despising yourself, you're not going to jump straight to love. You can tolerate yourself, you can enjoy your company. And that's all I'm really looking for is that place where I can just be alone for a long time and just think, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm content here. I'm not jumping off the walls, like twerking on the walls, like spinning on stools. Like sometimes I am, and that's great. But there's days where I can just be and lay, like yesterday, laid in bed, cuddled my cat and studied all day, and I was just content. And that's what I'm striving for, is that just happiness and that peace in my own brain and in my life. Well, not in life, because being an adult, there's never fucking peace. But in my brain, I'm not gonna be unrealistic. Like being an adult is constantly putting out fires, but I want peace inside.
And if you have peace inside, you are going to experience more peace on the outside too, when those fires are coming up, because you're not going to spiral.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it directly translates for sure.
I've noticed that too. Because the small things like spilling milk won't set you off the edge. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that you're learning all of these. Like, you're young. Like, you're so
I'm 27. I'm
exactly.
old.
Exactly.
Everyone in my
younger.
dental school is like 21, 22. I'm literally the old lady. It's absurd.
That's crazy.
But you're learning
Anyway.
these lessons at literally such a young age, and that's only gonna propel you forward in such a positive way to be able to manage all of that, and not only bodybuilding but every other life aspect too. You know, Beckie and I talk all the time about how these traits and things that we learn from bodybuilding are so applicable in so many different areas of life. And I truly don't think that people outside of bodybuilding can get to those steps. Maybe there are, right? There's different ways that you can experience discipline and regimentedness, but is it as extreme as bodybuilding? Maybe, maybe not. But I think it's like the most like extreme
It's
possible way. Yeah, it's like the most extreme possible way that you can learn all of this and then apply it in so many different areas.
Yeah. I mean, you're fighting against everything that your body tells you it shouldn't be doing. Like things that have been ingrained in you since like you were the tiniest little one cell organism and then like evolved into a human being. You know what I mean? Like they're like, you should eat, and like literally didn't have a brain, but it went around encompassing other little one cell organisms. Like that was like before brains, we were doing that. And now we're like, you should eat. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, you know what it's like the fundamentals of everything that a living creature should do. We're like, I'm not gonna do it. But it's like 24/7. You know what I mean? It is that all encompassing, constant. It's not like you show up, check out, go home. It's literally everything. Everything matters. Every stick of gum I chew, every sugar-free coffee I make, every minute of sleep, everything matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Love
really
that.
fast, I know we have to wrap up because you have an exam.
Yes, a
what does-
periodontic exam.
What does the future hold for you? Where are you going after Olympia? Or we're just
In
focusing on
bodybuilding
Olympia?
or just life?
All of it.
I'm focusing on Olympia right now. And the honest answer to that is that I spent so long in my life creating 1-year goals, 2-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals. But if you would have asked me 5 years ago where I would be right now, I would not have told you dental school, and I would not have told you bodybuilding. I would have been like, absolutely not. Don't want to be a dentist. Don't want to be a bodybuilder. That sounds like I used to be the girl that made fun of people who go to the gym because I was like, why would you want to go and like work out when you could just eat a pizza? Like that was like a legitimate story I made, not like a post I made on Facebook. Why would you go to the gym when you can stay home and eat a pizza 5 years ago? So in 5 years from now, I have no idea. Like short term after Olympia, we're going to see how I place, see what feedback I get. But this semester, honest to God, is the hardest one, or this year, second year is the hardest year of all dental school. So I know for a fact that I'm going to want to take a little step back. But we'll see how, if the Detroit Pro Show, if Arnold works out, we'll see how those things go. But really, my sights are just set on Olympia at this point. Like I said, 35 days, 1 hour and 25 minutes now. So we figure out things as they come. If I take a step in a positive direction, then in a year, I'll be 365 steps closer to happiness than I was today.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Oh yeah. That's
Perfect.
amazing. Well, I wanted to just say thank you so much for taking the time to come on. I really appreciate it. I adore you. I love your drive and your
Love
just
you too.
mentality with everything. Let's train again soon. But where can we find you? YouTube, Instagram, all of that.
So my Instagram is Marissa Mini Beast. I do have a YouTube, but she's a little baby YouTube. I think it's the same. It's just Marissa Mini Beast, but Instagram is my main platform. But mostly you can find me on the Olympia stage in 35 days, 1 hour and 24 minutes now. And yeah,
I love
Thank-
it. Do you want to do you have anything else?
me
Yeah, you.
or Beckie? Oh,
you.
no, just thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to get a chance to do a podcast with someone I consider such a close friend because this is always so much fun. And I just thank you so much for having me, you guys.
Of course. No,
Thank
thank
you for
you so
coming on.
much. And I mean, I can't wait to just hear feedback once this one releases. And Beckie, do you have anything else?
No, just thank you for coming on. I know you know Sarah, but like I just loved getting to know you and kind of getting a peek into how you think. And I definitely am stealing a whole bunch of things from you. So
Yay, good. All right, I'm about to go do something that's a lot less fun than this. So I'm about
Well,
to look
go
at.
kill your exam. Safe travels, and we'll connect soon. Thank you again so much. And
Awesome.
we will catch you guys next week on the next episode.
bye guys.